Chapter 1. The Perfect Lie. Word count, 1,000. I'm telling you, Mom. I'll find something soon, I said, forcing a small laugh as I dropped my bag near the couch. Sarah smiled too quickly. Of course you will, Ethan. You've always been capable. Capable? I raised an eyebrow. That sounds like a compliment trying to hide something. Daniel looked up from his phone. Your mother just means you'll figure it out. Don't overthink it. I'm not overthinking, I said. I just don't want to be stuck forever. You won't be, Sarah replied softly. We've always taken care of you. Something about the way she said it made me pause. Yeah, I said slowly. You have. Dinner was quiet after that. Too quiet. Forks clinked against plates, but no one really talked. So, I tried again. I applied to 3 places today. Daniel nodded. Good. Keep going. That's it, I asked. No advice. No pressure. You'll handle it, he said. I leaned back. You two are acting weird tonight. Sarah's hand tightened around her glass. We're just tired, right? I muttered. Tired? After dinner, I headed upstairs, but something felt off. Like the air itself had changed. I paused halfway up the stairs when I heard voices. We can't keep hiding it forever, Sarah whispered sharply. My heart skipped. I froze. Daniel's voice came low and firm. We don't have a choice. What if he finds out? She asked. He won't, Daniel snapped. He can't. My chest tightened. He? Me? This isn't right, Sarah said. He deserves nothing, Daniel cut in. We gave him everything. I leaned closer to the wall, barely breathing. Everything built on lies, Sarah whispered. Silence followed, heavy and suffocating. Then Daniel spoke again. Do you want to lose it all? The money? The life we built? Money? My mind raced. He's not a child anymore, Sarah said. He'll start asking questions. Then we make sure he doesn't get answers, Daniel replied coldly. A chill ran down my spine. My name came next. Ethan can never find out, Daniel said. My stomach dropped. Find out what? I stepped back quietly, my pulse pounding so loud I thought they might hear it. I walked upstairs, each step heavier than the last. Inside my room, I shut the door and leaned against it. What the hell? I whispered. My hands were shaking. They're talking about me. About lies. About money. I ran a hand through my hair. No, this doesn't make sense. I tried to brush it off, but their voices echoed in my head. He can never find out. I couldn't ignore it. I walked back downstairs. The living room lights were on. They were sitting on the couch like nothing had happened. I stood there for a second, watching them. Everything okay? I asked. Sarah jumped slightly. Yes. Why wouldn't it be? I don't know, I said, stepping closer. Maybe because you were just arguing about me? Daniel's expression didn't change. You must have misheard. I didn't mishear, I said. I heard my name. I heard truth. I heard money. Sarah looked at Daniel. What's going on? I demanded. Nothing, Daniel said calmly. Don't lie to me, I snapped. Not now. Sarah stood up. Ethan, it's not what you think. Then tell me what it is. I shot back. She hesitated. That hesitation said everything. There's nothing to tell, Daniel said firmly. You're overreacting. I'm overreacting. I laughed bitterly. You literally said I can't find something out. It's about finances, Sarah said quickly. We're dealing with some issues, and we didn't want to worry you. Finances? I repeated. Then why say my name? Because it affects you too, she said. Ow! She opened her mouth, then closed it. I looked at Daniel. You want to try? He stood up slowly. You need to trust us. I do trust you, I said, my voice shaking. That's why this feels so wrong. You're making something out of nothing, he replied. No, I said. You're hiding something. Silence filled the room again. I looked between them. Just tell me the truth. Sarah's eyes softened. For a second, I thought she might break. But then she looked away. We're tired, Ethan, she said quietly. We'll talk about this another time. No, I said. We're talking about it now. Daniel stepped closer. Go to bed. I stared at him. Are you serious? Yes, he said. You're not thinking clearly. I clenched my fists. I'm thinking clearer than ever. Enough, he said sharply. The way he said it, it wasn't a request. It was a command. I stepped back, my chest tight. Fine, I muttered. Keep your secrets. I turned and walked away before they could say anything else. Back in my room, I paced back and forth. This doesn't make sense, I whispered. None of it does. I sat on the edge of my bed, staring at the wall. Memories started flashing through my mind. Mom avoiding certain questions. Dad changing topics. The way they sometimes looked at me like I was something fragile or temporary. I shook my head. No, I'm imagining things. But deep down, I knew I wasn't. I lay back on the bed, staring at the ceiling. What were they hiding? Hours passed, but sleep never came. Every time I closed my eyes, I heard their voices again. He can never find out. Find out what? I whispered into the darkness. My chest felt heavy, like something inside me was cracking. For 22 years, I believed my life was simple, normal, safe. Now it felt like a lie. I sat up suddenly. No, I said firmly. I'm not just going to ignore this. If they wouldn't tell me the truth, I'd find it myself, no matter what it cost me. Chapter 2. Cracks in the Past. Word count 1,000. I'm not crazy, I whispered to myself as I pulled open the old storage box in the hallway closet. Dust filled the air. If there's something to find, it has to be here. I sat on the floor, flipping through photo albums. Okay, birthday at 6, school play at 8, I muttered. I paused. Where's everything before that? I flipped faster. There's nothing, no baby pictures. My chest tightened. That's not normal. I grabbed another album. Same thing. First photo. I'm 5, I said under my breath. That makes no sense. I stood up quickly. Mom. Sarah's voice came from the kitchen. Yes. I walked in, holding the album. Where are my baby pictures? She froze for a second. What do you mean? I mean this, I said, opening the album. Why does my life start at 5? She forced a small laugh. We lost some old photos during a move. All of them? I asked. It happens, she said. No, it doesn't, I replied. Not every single one. Daniel walked in. What's going on? Ask him, I said, pointing at the album. He glanced at it. We told you before we lost some things. You never told me that, I said. Well, now you know, he replied calmly. I stared at him. That's it? That's your answer? Yes, he said. I felt anger rising. You expect me to believe that? If you want to, he said. I laughed bitterly. Unbelievable. I walked out before they could stop me. Outside, I took a deep breath. They're lying. I know they are. I pulled out my phone and called Jake. Hey man, he answered. What's up? I need to ask you something, I said. Sounds serious, he replied. It is, I said. Can we meet? Yeah, come over. 20 minutes later, I was sitting in his room. What's going on? Jake asked. I looked at him. Do you remember anything weird about my parents? He frowned. Weird how? I don't know, I said. Just different. He hesitated. That hesitation hit me hard. Jake, I mean, every family is different, he said. Don't do that, I said. Just tell me the truth. He sighed. Why are you asking this? Because nothing makes sense anymore, I said. I don't have baby pictures. They're hiding something. Jake looked down. Ethan, what? I pressed. They were always protective, he said slowly. Protective? I repeated. Like really protective, he added. That's not an answer, I said. He rubbed the back of his neck. Okay, fine. They didn't like you coming over to my house much. So, they didn't like you staying out late. They didn't like you talking about your past. I blinked. What past? Exactly, he said quietly. My heart skipped. What are you saying? I don't know, he said quickly. It just felt like they were hiding something. I leaned back, stunned. You noticed it too? Yeah, he admitted. Why didn't you tell me? Because I thought it was just strict parenting, he said. I shook my head. It's more than that. Jake looked at me. What are you going to do? I don't know yet, I said. But I'm not stopping. He nodded. Just be careful. I will, I said, though I wasn't sure if I meant it. Later that day, I went to work. You look like you didn't sleep, Emily said as soon as she saw me. Is it that obvious? I asked. Very, she said. What happened? I hesitated. You can tell me, she added gently. I sighed. I think my parents are lying to me. About what? She asked. I don't know, I said. That's the problem. She frowned. That sounds serious. It is, I said. Nothing in my past makes sense. Like what? She asked. No baby photos. Weird behavior. Conversations I wasn't supposed to hear, I said. She crossed her arms. That's not normal. I know, I said. What are you going to do? She asked. Keep digging, I replied. She nodded. Good, good, I repeated. Yes, she said. You deserve the truth. Her words hit me harder than I expected. What if the truth is worse than I think? I asked quietly. She looked at me. Then at least it's real. I stayed silent. Ethan, she said softly, living in a lie is worse. I nodded slowly. Yeah, I guess you're right. She smiled a little. I usually am. I chuckled faintly. Thanks. Any time, she said. That night, I lay in bed again, staring at the ceiling. Her words echoed my mind. At least it's real. But my thoughts kept drifting. Small memories started coming back. Why can't I go to that friend's house? I remembered asking as a kid. Because I said so, Daniel had replied. Why don't we have pictures from when I was a baby? I had asked once. We'll show you later, Sarah had said. But they never did. I sat up. How did I not notice this before? My chest felt heavy again. Was my whole life fake? I whispered. I got up and walked quietly down the hallway. The house was silent. I stopped outside Daniel's study. The door was slightly open. I pushed it gently. Inside, everything looked normal. Desk, books, files. But now, it all felt different, like secrets were hiding in plain sight. I stepped in and closed the door behind me. Okay, I whispered. If there's something here, I'll find it. I started checking drawers. Papers. Bills. Nothing unusual. Come on, I muttered. Then I noticed something. One drawer locked. I froze. Why would he lock a drawer? I whispered. My pulse started racing again. I walked closer, staring at it. This has to be it. I reached out and touched the handle. Locked. Of course it was. I let out a slow breath. Whatever you're hiding, I said quietly, I'm going to find it. Chapter 3. The truth I was never meant to know. Word count, 1,000. I knew it. I whispered, staring at the locked drawer. My hands trembled. What are you hiding from me? I looked around the study. There has to be a key. I checked the desk, the shelves under papers. Nothing. Fine, I muttered. Then I'll make one. I grabbed a small metal letter opener from the desk. This is stupid, I said under my breath. But I'm not stopping now. I forced the blade into the lock, twisting hard. Come on, open. The metal scraped. My heart pounded louder with every second. Just break already. With a sharp click, the lock gave in. I froze. It's open, I whispered. For a moment, I didn't move. Whatever's inside, there's no going back, I said quietly. I pulled the drawer open. Inside were files. Thick ones. Organized. Hidden. Of course, I muttered. I picked one up and opened it. Legal documents. Contracts. Names I didn't recognize. What is all this? I flipped through faster. Then I saw it. My name. Ethan Carter. I read aloud. My throat tightened. I kept reading. Adoption finalized. I stopped breathing. Adoption. I whispered. No, that's not possible. I flipped back, reading again. Legal guardians Daniel Carter and Sarah Carter. My hand started shaking. This isn't real. I grabbed another document. Birth records. Different names. Who are these people? I asked, my voice barely audible. I read the names again. They're not my parents. My chest felt like it was collapsing. I was adopted. The words didn't feel real. I stumbled back, hitting the desk. No, they would have told me. But deep down, I knew the truth. They never told me anything. I looked back at the file. There's more, I said. I kept reading. More legal papers. Financial records. Then something caught my eye. Inheritance. I frowned. What inheritance? I read faster. Assets transferred upon guardianship. My heart dropped. No. Estate belonging to biological parents. I felt dizzy. They didn't just adopt me. I swallowed hard. They took everything. My vision blurred as I read the numbers. It was a lot of money. Too much. This is why, I whispered. This is why they took me. Anger started rising, mixing with pain. I wasn't their son. I clenched the papers. I was their investment. Footsteps echoed outside. My head snapped toward the door. Ethan, Sarah's voice called. My heart raced. Are you in there? The door opened. She froze when she saw me. Ethan, what are you doing? I held up the papers. You tell me. Her face went pale. Where did you get those? From your locked drawer? I said coldly. Daniel appeared behind her. What did you do? I found the truth, I said. Silence filled the room. Say something, I demanded. Sarah stepped forward. Ethan, please. Don't, I snapped. Don't lie to me again. Daniel's jaw tightened. You shouldn't have opened that. I shouldn't have. I laughed bitterly. I shouldn't know who I am. You're our son, Sarah said quickly. No, I said, shaking my head. I'm not. She looked like she was about to cry. Then what am I? I asked. Neither of them answered. Say it, I demanded. Daniel sighed. You were adopted. The words hit like a punch. Adopted, I repeated. Yes, he said. Why didn't you tell me? I asked. It wasn't necessary, he replied. Not necessary? I shouted. It's my life. We gave you everything, he said firmly. Everything. I held up the papers. You mean this? He stayed silent. This money, I said. This inheritance, it's mine, isn't it? Sarah looked away. That's why you took me, I said, my voice shaking. That's not true, she whispered. Then what is the truth? I yelled. Daniel stepped forward. We raised you. We fed you. We gave you a home. That's not an answer. I snapped. It's the only answer that matters, he said. I stared at him, disbelief turning into anger. You didn't love me, I said. Sarah shook her head. That's not fair, isn't it? I asked. You hid my entire life from me. We were protecting you, she said. From what? I demanded. From the truth, she whispered. I laughed, a hollow sound. You mean from yourselves? Daniel's expression hardened. Watch your tone. No, I said. You don't get to tell me what to do anymore. Ethan, Sarah started. I'm not your son. I cut in. Her face broke. Please don't say that. Why not? I asked. It's true. Silence again. Heavy. Painful. Final. I trusted you, I said quietly. We didn't lie about everything, she said softly. That doesn't make it better, I replied. Daniel crossed his arms. What do you want from us? The truth, I said. You already have it, he said. I shook my head. No, I have pieces, not reasons. He didn't respond. Did you ever love me? I asked. Sarah started crying. Daniel stayed silent. That silence answered everything. I felt something inside me break. Wow, I whispered. It wasn't like that, Sarah said through tears. Then what was it like? I asked. She couldn't answer. I looked at both of them. I was just money to you, I said. That's not true, she said weakly. Then prove it, I challenged. She couldn't. Neither could he. I nodded slowly. I get it now. Ethan, please. I'm done, I said. I dropped the papers on the desk. Wait, Sarah said, reaching for me. I stepped back. Don't. Her hand froze in the air. You don't get to touch me, I said. Daniel's voice turned cold. Where do you think you're going? Away from you, I replied. You're being dramatic, he said. No, I said. I'm finally being honest. I walked past them. Ethan, stop. Sarah cried. I didn't. I reached the door. This is your home, Daniel said sharply. I paused for a second. Then I looked back at them. No, I said quietly. It never was. I walked out, and this time, I didn't look back. Chapter 4. Alone and Rebuilding. Word count, 1,000. Stay as long as you need, Jake said, tossing me a blanket. I won't be a burden, I replied quietly. You're not, he said. You're my friend. I nodded, sitting on his couch. Thanks. He crossed his arms. Did they try to stop you? Yeah, I said, but not in the way I expected. What do you mean? He asked. They didn't beg me to stay, I said. They just acted like I was being dramatic. Jake frowned. That's messed up. Yeah, I muttered. Everything is. He sat down across from me. What now? I don't know, I admitted. I feel like I don't even know who I am anymore. You're still Ethan, he said. Am I? I asked. Or was that just something they created? He shook his head. Don't let them take that too. I sighed. I'm trying. Try harder, he said. I looked at him. You make it sound easy. It's not, he said. But it's necessary. I lay back on the couch. I hate this. I know, he replied. I hate them, I added. He didn't respond right away. That's fair. But I hesitated. I also miss them. That's normal too, he said. I don't want it to be, I whispered. Silence filled the room. The next morning, I woke up early. You're up? Jake asked from the kitchen. Yeah, I said. Couldn't sleep. Coffee, he offered. Please, I replied. He handed me a cup. You got work today? Yeah, I said. I need the money. At least it's something, he said. Barely, I muttered. At work, Emily noticed me immediately. You look worse than yesterday, she said. Thanks, I replied dryly. I'm serious, she said. Did something happen? I left, I said. Her eyes widened. You left your house? Yeah, I said. I'm staying with Jake now. She stepped closer. Are you okay? No, I said honestly. She nodded slowly. Do you want to talk? I don't know where to start, I admitted. Start anywhere, she said. I took a deep breath. They adopted me. She blinked. Okay, but that's not the worst part, I added. What is? She asked. They took me for money, I said. Her expression changed. What? There's an inheritance, I explained. From my real parents. And they hid it? She asked. Not just hid it, I said. They used it. That's horrible, she said softly. Yeah, I replied. She looked at me. How are you handling this? I'm not, I said. She reached out, then hesitated. I'm here, okay? Why? I asked. Because you need someone, she said. I shook my head. You barely know me. I know enough, she replied. I stayed quiet. Ethan, she said gently, this doesn't define you. It feels like it does, I admitted. It doesn't, she insisted. Then what does? I asked. You do, she said. Her words stayed with me the rest of the day. Later that night, I sat with Jake again. I found something online, I said. What? He asked. My real parents, I replied. He leaned forward. You serious? Yeah, I said, showing him my phone. Names? He asked. Michael and Laura Hayes, I said. Jake read quietly. They were successful. Very, I said. And they died, he asked. I nodded. Car accident. He looked at me. That's rough. It gets worse, I said. Ow. They left everything to me, I said. And your parents, he started. Took it, I finished. Jake shook his head. I can't believe this. Me neither, I said. I stared at the screen. They sound like good people. I'm sure they were, he said. I never got to know them, I whispered. That's not your fault, he said. I know, I said. But it still hurts. He nodded. Of course it does. They stole that from me, I said. Yeah, he agreed. I clenched my jaw. They stole my life. Silence followed. What are you going to do? Jake asked. I don't know, I said. You have options, he said. Like what? I asked. You could walk away, he said. Start fresh. And let them keep everything. I asked. He shrugged. Or you could fight. Fight, I repeated. Legally, he said. I leaned back. That sounds complicated. It probably is, he said. I sighed. I don't even know where to start. Find someone who does, he said. I stayed quiet for a moment. The next day, I told Emily. You should take action, she said immediately. Just like that. I asked. Yes, she said. It's not that simple, I replied. Why not, she asked. Because there's still, I hesitated. They're still my parents. She looked at me. Are they? Her question hit hard. I don't know, I admitted. They lied to you your whole life, she said. I know, I said. They used you, she added. I know, I repeated. Then why protect them? She asked. I didn't have an answer. Ethan, she said softly, this isn't just about money. I know, I said. It's about your identity, she continued. I nodded slowly. You deserve the truth, she said. And justice, Jake added later when I told him. I looked between them in my mind. Truth. Justice. What if I lose? I asked. Then you tried, Jake said. What if I win? I asked. Then you take your life back, Emily said. I took a deep breath. I'm scared, I admitted. That's normal, she said. But I'm also angry, I added. Use that, Jake said. I nodded slowly. This isn't just about money, I said. No, Emily agreed. It's about who I am, I continued. Exactly, she said. I looked down at my hands. I've been living a lie, I said. Not anymore, she replied. I exhaled slowly. Okay, I said. Okay, what? Jake asked. I'm not running anymore, I said. Emily smiled slightly. Good. I'm going to fight, I said firmly. Jake nodded. That's what I wanted to hear. Not just for the money, I added. Then for what? Emily asked. For the truth, I said. And for myself. Chapter 5, The Power Shift. Word count, 1,000. Well, you ready to move forward? Mr. Collins asked, adjusting his glasses as he looked at me. I think so, I replied. Actually, no. I know I am. He nodded. Good. Because once we start, there's no turning back. I already crossed that line, I said. Jake leaned against the wall. He's not backing out. Mr. Collins gave a small smile. That's what I like to hear. I took a deep breath. What do you need from me? Everything, he said. Every document, every memory, every detail. I have the papers from the drawer, I said. Good, he replied. That's a strong start. Is it enough? I asked. It's more than most people have, he said. Emily sat beside me. What happens next? We file a case, he explained. We prove that the guardianship was abused for financial gain. That sounds complicated, I said. It is, he admitted. But it's also clear. I frowned. Clear. Yes, he said. They took what wasn't theirs. I nodded slowly. Yeah, they did. He leaned forward. Are you emotionally prepared for this? I hesitated. Jake spoke up. He is. I need to hear it from him, Mr. Collins said. I swallowed. I'm ready. Then let's begin, he said. Days passed quickly after that. Sign here, Mr. Collins said, sliding papers toward me. I picked up the pen. This feels real. It is real, he said. I signed. No going back now. Exactly, he replied. Emily squeezed my hand. You're doing the right thing. I hope so, I said. You are, she insisted. A week later, things started changing. Did you see this? Jake asked, holding up his phone. What? I asked. Your parents, he said. People are talking. I took the phone. Financial misconduct, illegal guardianship, I read aloud. My chest tightened. It's spreading. Fast, Jake said. I handed the phone back. I didn't think it would happen this quickly. It always does, he replied. At work, Emily approached me. They called, she said. Who? I asked. Your parents, she said carefully. I froze. What did they say? They wanted to talk to you, she said. I shook my head. No, Ethan. I said no. I repeated. She nodded. Okay. I'm not ready, I added. That's fair, she said. That night, I sat with Jake again. I feel weird, I admitted. Weird how, he asked. Like I should feel better, I said. But I don't. He frowned. Why not? Because this isn't over, I said. Of course it's not, he replied. And because I hesitated. Because what? He asked. Because they're falling apart, I said. He looked at me. Isn't that what you wanted? I thought it was, I admitted. But now it just feels empty, I said. Jake stayed quiet for a moment. That's normal. Is it? I asked. Yeah, he said. Revenge isn't as satisfying as people think. I'm starting to see that, I said. The next day, Emily sat across from me during lunch. You're thinking too much, she said. I can't help it, I replied. She leaned forward. Then let me ask you something. Okay, I said. What do you really want, Ethan? I blinked. What? What do you want? She repeated. I opened my mouth, then closed it. I want justice, I said. Is that all? She asked. I want my life back, I added. She nodded. Good. But I paused. What? She asked. I want to stop feeling like this, I said. Like what? Lost, I answered. She smiled softly. Then focus on that. Focus on what? On yourself, she said. I frowned. This is about them. No, she said firmly. It's not anymore. Her words hit me hard. This is about you, she continued. I stayed silent. You're not doing this to destroy them, she said. Then why am I doing it? I asked. To rebuild yourself, she replied. I leaned back, thinking. That makes sense, I admitted. It does, she said. So what now? I asked. Now you keep going, she said. A few days later, Mr. Collins called. We have a court date, he said. When? I asked. Soon, he replied. Very soon. My heart started racing. How soon? Next week, he said. That fast? I asked. Yes, he said. Things are moving quickly. I nodded. Okay. Are you ready? He asked. I thought for a moment. Yeah, I said. Good, he replied. Because this is where everything changes. After the call, I sat in silence. Jake looked at me. That's it, I said. Emily smiled slightly. This is your moment. It doesn't feel like it, I admitted. It will, she said. I took a deep breath. This isn't about them anymore, I said. Jake nodded. Exactly. It's about me, I added. Emily smiled. Now you get it. I looked down at my hands. I'm not that kid anymore, I said. No, Jake agreed. I'm not the one they controlled, I continued. Not anymore, Emily said. I nodded slowly. Good, Jake said. Because next week, Emily added, you take everything back. I looked up at both of them. Yeah, I said quietly. Next week, everything changes. Chapter 6, The Regret, My Closure. Word count, 1,000. Are you ready? Mr. Collins asked as we stood outside the courtroom. I exhaled slowly. No, but I'll go in anyway. He nodded. That's enough. Emily touched my arm. We're right here. Jake added, you've got this. I gave a small nod. Let's finish it. We walked inside. The room felt heavy. I saw them immediately. Daniel sat straight, avoiding my eyes. Sarah looked different, tired, broken. My chest tightened. Don't look at them, Jake whispered. I have to, I replied quietly. Mr. Collins leaned closer. Stay focused. I will, I said. The hearing began. State your name, the judge said. Ethan Carter, I replied. My voice felt steady. Proceed, the judge said. Mr. Collins stood. Your Honor, this case concerns the misuse of guardianship and financial exploitation. I listened as he spoke. Every word felt like a piece of my past being exposed. Do you confirm these documents? He asked me. Yes, I said. Were you aware of your adoption? He continued. No, I replied. Were you informed about the inheritance? No, I said again. He nodded. Thank you. Then it was their turn. Daniel stood. We provided him a home, he said. I clenched my fists. We raised him, he continued. Mr. Collins stepped in. Did you inform him of his biological parents? Daniel hesitated. No. Did you inform him of the inheritance? No, he admitted. Did you use those funds? Daniel stayed silent. Answer the question, the judge said. Yes, he said quietly. A wave of murmurs filled the room. Sarah stood next. We didn't mean to hurt him, she said, her voice shaking. Did you lie to him? Mr. Collins asked. She looked at me. Tears filled her eyes. Yes, she whispered. Why? He asked. We were scared, she said. Of what? Of losing everything, she replied. Her words echoed in my head. Everything. I looked down, trying to stay calm. The questioning continued. Every answer they gave made things clearer. Lies, choices, greed. By the end, there was nothing left to hide. The judge spoke. The court will review the evidence and deliver a verdict shortly. We stepped outside. Jake let out a breath. That was intense. Yeah, I said. Emily looked at me. You okay? I don't know, I admitted. Before she could respond, I heard a voice. Ethan. I turned. Sarah stood there. Her eyes were red. Can we talk? She asked. I hesitated. Jake shook his head slightly. Emily stayed quiet. It's okay, I said. I'll handle it. I stepped forward. What do you want? I asked. She wiped her tears. I'm sorry. I stayed silent. I know that doesn't fix anything, she continued. But I need you to hear it. I heard you in there, I said. No, she said. Not like this. I crossed my arms. Then say it. I'm sorry for lying, she said. I'm sorry for hiding the truth. I watched her carefully. I thought I was protecting you, she added. You weren't, I said. I know that now, she whispered. Do you? I asked. She nodded. Yes. I looked at her for a long moment. Why didn't you tell me? I asked. She broke down again. Because I was weak. I didn't respond. I followed Daniel, she said. That was your choice, I replied. I know, she said. Silence hung between us. Can you forgive me? She asked softly. The question hit harder than anything else. I took a deep breath. I don't know, I said honestly. Her face fell. But I do know something, I added. What? She asked. I looked straight at her. You didn't lose a son today. My voice stayed calm. You never had one. She froze. Her tears fell silently. I trusted you, I continued. I know, she whispered. And you broke that, I said. I did, she admitted. I nodded slowly. This ends here, I said. She tried to speak, but no words came out. I turned away. Ethan, she called softly. I didn't stop. I walked back to Jake and Emily. You okay? Jake asked. Yeah, I said quietly. Emily looked at me. You sure? I'm now, I replied. We waited. Minutes felt like hours. Then Mr. Collins approached. It's time, he said. We went back inside. The judge looked at everyone. After reviewing the evidence, he began, the court finds in favor of Ethan Carter. My heart pounded. All misused assets are to be returned, he continued. I closed my eyes for a second. The guardianship is deemed abused, he added. I exhaled slowly. And further legal consequences will follow, he finished. It was over. I looked at them one last time. Daniel sat frozen. Sarah was crying again. But this time, I felt nothing. No anger. No pain. Just clarity. Jake smiled. You did it. Emily squeezed my hand. You're free. I nodded. Yeah, I said quietly. I am. Chapter 7, A New Beginning. Word count, 1,000. Is this the place? Emily asked softly. I nodded. Yeah, this is it. Jake looked around. It's peaceful. It is, I said quietly. We stood at the entrance for a moment. I felt something heavy in my chest. Take your time, Emily said. I will, I replied. I started walking. Each step felt slower than the last. Jake stayed a few steps behind. Emily walked beside me. You don't have to say anything perfect, she said gently. I know, I said. I just need to say something real. She squeezed my hand. That's enough. We stopped in front of 2 graves. I stared at the names. For a moment, I couldn't breathe. This is them? Jake asked quietly. Yeah, I whispered. I stepped closer. My hands trembled slightly. Hey, I said, my voice barely steady. I paused. I don't really know how to start, I admitted. Emily stayed silent. Jake looked away, giving me space. I guess I should introduce myself, I said softly. I swallowed hard. I'm Ethan, I continued. Your son. The words felt strange. But also right. I found out everything, I said. I took a deep breath. I know what happened, I added. My chest tightened again. I wish I had known sooner, I said. I wish I had met you, I whispered. Silence surrounded me, but it didn't feel empty. It felt calm. I was angry, I admitted, at everything, at everyone. I looked down. I felt like my whole life was a lie, I said. Emily's hand tightened slightly. But I'm starting to understand, I continued. I'm starting to see who I really am. Jake stepped closer, but said nothing. I got it back, I said. What you left for me. I paused. But it's not just the money, I added. It's me. I let out a slow breath. I know who I am now, I said. And I'm not lost anymore. My voice grew steadier. I don't know what kind of people you were, I admitted. But I hope I make you proud. Emily smiled softly beside me. I'm going to live differently, I said. I'm not going to carry hate. I shook my head slightly. I'm done with that. Jake finally spoke. They be proud already. I looked at him. You think so? I asked. Yeah, he said. You fought for yourself. Emily nodded. And you didn't let it break you. I looked back at the graves. I almost did, I admitted. But I didn't, I said. I stood there for a long moment. I'm okay now, I whispered. And I will be. A light breeze passed through. It felt peaceful. Thank you, I said quietly. Emily tilted her head. For what? For being here, I replied. Always, she said. Jake smiled. You're stuck with us. I laughed softly. Good. We stepped back together. I took one last look. I'll come back, I said. Emily nodded. We will. As we walked away, something felt different. Lighter. Feels like a new start, Jake said. It is, I replied. Emily looked at me. What will you do now? I thought for a moment. I'll figure out, I said. But this time, it'll be my choice. She smiled. That sounds right. Jake stretched his arms. Finally, some peace. Yeah, I said. We reached the car. I paused before getting in. You okay? Emily asked. Yeah, I said. Just thinking. About what? She asked. Everything, I replied. I leaned against the door. I lost a lot, I said. Jake nodded. You did. But I gained something too, I added. Emily tilted her head. Like what? Myself, I said. She smiled softly. That's the most important thing. I nodded. I'm not that same person anymore, I said. The one who kept asking why. Jake crossed his arms. You don't need those answers now. No, I said. I don't. Emily stepped closer. Who are you now? I thought for a moment. Someone stronger, I said. Someone who knows his worth. Jake grinned. Finally. I laughed. Yeah, finally. Emily looked at me carefully. And someone who can move forward? I nodded. Yeah. Not running, she asked. Not anymore, I said. She smiled. Good. We got into the car. As we drove away, I looked out the window. The past didn't feel like a weight anymore. It felt like something behind me. Something finished. You're quiet, Jake said. Just thinking, I replied. About? Emily asked. I smiled slightly. Sometimes the truth breaks you, I said. They both looked at me. But it also sets you free, I finished. Jake nodded slowly. Yeah, it does. Emily squeezed my hand again. And now? She asked. I looked ahead. Now I live, I said.